Today, we are going to be going over how to generate a username and profile picture with AI. But before we do, there's a couple assumptions that I do have. You either have an OSSA.AI subscription or you possess the required editing and content creation skills to make short form content by yourself. 2, you have created your own niche, which is the previous resource from this course. So make sure you watch that if you haven't. Brand, a unique combination of a creator's personal style, content, and presentation that distinguishes them and appeals to their audience. This is very important. This is the essence of everything we're going to talk about. We're going to dive into it in a second. Focal point, the specific area or feature in a visual composition that attracts the most attention and interest from the viewer. That has to do with our profile picture. High attention words, we covered that in the last one. Main subject, this is the central figure or object in a profile picture that represents your brand on social media. Niche, a corner of the internet, in this case on social media, that has a well-established audience and culture. For example, if you are creating videos about anime, you are most likely in the anime niche. If you're creating videos about soccer, you're most likely in the soccer niche. Let's go more niche. Maybe you're creating anime videos about Goku. You are in the anime Goku niche. This is very high level, but that's a basic understanding of it. Target audience, the ideal people you want to watch your short form videos, aka SFVs, because they are most likely to watch and engage with your specific niche content style. Going back to these examples, let's say that I'm making soccer content. My target audience would be people who enjoy watching soccer. Same thing for the anime example. Variables, these are elements in a short form video that can be manipulated to affect engagement. And we're learning this throughout this entire course, but things that you can manipulate to increase or hurt your engagement are things such as captions, the sound behind it, the actual script, what's in the actual script, aka the words read aloud during the video, the images on the screen or the videos on the screen, subtitle animations, etc. There's lots of variables we can play with. But today, the main two variables we're talking about are your username and your profile picture, aka your brand. And whether you've realized it or not, by starting a new social media account, you're building a brand. And whether you're creating faceless short form videos or short form videos for your personal brand, your username and profile picture are two of the most important aspects or variables in building your brand. And what is a brand? We just went over that. It's a unique combination of a creator's style, aka your personal style, content, and presentation that distinguishes you and appeals to your audience. And if you do mess this up, it could severely prevent your ability to grow an audience. So let me explain why. And a quick key point, do not create your accounts with your new username and profile picture until reading through the next resource, which is how to set up your accounts. Otherwise, you're going to risk being shadow banned, and I don't want that for you. I want you to fucking crush it on social media. The last thing I want is for you to get shadow banned or for you to get in the death valley of 0 views. So please make sure you go through this and you don't get categorized as a bot. This covers all the things to do to make sure that your account is in good standing with all the social media platforms, especially for faceless content. With that being said, let's hop into the framework. We know what a brand is, but do we really? I don't know. You tell me. But in case you don't know, I put this together so you can understand brand. This is important to know for social media and just for life and in business. So I hope this really helps. So let's say that myself, Cole Gonzalez, CEO of OSSA.AI, I walk into a room with 100 strangers. None of them know me. I'm wearing a plain t-shirt with an astronaut on it. I open the door and say, "Hi, my name is Cole World." I turn around and leave. I walk into that room again the next day on day 2 with the same shirt and once again say, "Hi, my name is Cole World." 2 out of those 100 people recognize me. I walk into the same room day 3 and I do the same exact thing and I leave, and then 10 out of those 100 people recognize me. Then I do the same thing for a week, and on day 8, I walk into the room and I do not say a single word. Everyone in the room looks at me, and out of the 100 people, 50 of them remember my name, but all of them recognize me because of the shirt I'm wearing. Why does this matter? Because this is the essence of brand. In this example, my name is like the username that you are going to create, and the shirt I was wearing with the astronaut on it is like the profile picture you're going to create. Every time you walk in that room yourself, aka post a piece of content on your platforms, you are establishing your brand on social media. The problem you have right now, most likely, is that no one knows who you are, and we need to get people to remember you. And if we want people to remember you, your username should be easy to read, easy to remember, and correlated to the type of short form videos you're making. Your profile picture should be correlated to the type of content you're making and have a main subject and a focal point, which is explained below. Let's take an example. Example 1 of great faceless social media account branding. These are hypothetical accounts, but hypothetically, we have this account, Presidential Battles Now. This is a hypothetical account where old presidents and recent presidents battle each other. The username is unique and easy to read and correlated with the type of content, presidential battles. We just talked about that. We need this username to be easy to read, easy to remember, or memorable, and correlated to the type of short form videos we're making. So let's say this was us. That's a great username. What about the profile picture? It has a main subject and a focal point. And a note here, we talked about high attention authority figures in the last course module. What's a high attention authority figure? It's someone who has authority and has influence in the world already, and they're very high attention. Whatever they say, people care about them. So in the best scenario, I created this using DALL-E, which I'm going to go down here in a little bit and show you guys how you can create profile pictures just like this in literally 60 seconds. Because there's copyright with DALL-E 3, I wasn't allowed to generate any copyright figures, so this is just a random president. But in the most ideal world, you'd have a high attention authority figure like Joe Biden, Obama, or Donald Trump in this picture. Some sort of high attention authority figure president. This is still amazing though for brand. And what's a focal point? This is the specific area or feature in a visual composition, or in this case, profile picture, that attracts the most attention and interest from the viewer. Notice how we don't have a lot going on here. That's not by mistake. In order for someone to remember us when we walk into the room, aka make post, we want a very simple profile picture. And by the way, just a side note, if you have a personal brand, literally just do your face. It's so simple. Don't overcomplicate it, because people have been asking that too. If you're watching this, you have a personal brand, you're like, what do I do for personal content? Just do a decent looking headshot. And what is the main subject? This is the central figure or object in a profile picture that represents your brand on social media. Why is this so important to know? Because we have a main focal point, which is the president here, standing on a podium, easy and very memorable. And then it ties directly to the username. Super important. This is another example of great faceless social media account branding. So the username is gaming intentions. Username's unique, easy to read, and correlate with the type of content that is being made, which is a hypothetical account that's making what if videos. What does that mean? I just made this up, but essentially they could be creating scenarios of random popular video games doing collabs and what would happen if they did. The profile picture also has a main subject, a video game controller, and a focal point. Very simple. Also, the profile picture is directly correlated to the style of content being created. Gaming videos, gaming controller, very memorable. That's perfect. In the most ideal world, is a key point here, you want the main subject of your profile picture to be high attention. And we talked about high attention in the last course module. But for example, if you're in the gaming niche, you could have an Xbox controller or a PlayStation console. Those are high attention. They're memorable, they're familiar. If you had some sort of object here that was not universally familiar, such as a gaming console that no one knows about, that would not be as good. But because we have this controller that's universally known and familiar and high attention, this is great for your branding in faceless content. Borrowed attention, by the way, is the act of taking what is already getting attention and using it. So when we use something that's high attention in our profile picture, we're borrowing the attention of the familiarity and the universally known aspect of this object or main subject in our profile picture. Let's take an example of poor faceless social media account branding. The potential username here is the Faceless Prodigy, and this is a hypothetical account where videos of current trending news are created. See how there's no way to remember what the account is based off of from the profile picture and the username? This has nothing to do with the content being created. This is such a huge mistake I see people make, is they go for like this picture is kind of cool because I created it with AI and this is a cool name, so I think it's going to do well. No, this is really bad. You do not want to be broad and ambiguous with your username and your profile picture. If you take a step back after you go through this entire process and you say, okay, would I remember this profile picture that's going to be sitting in the corner of my feed and username? Would I be able to remember what type of content that I am making if the video showed up on my feed? Would I be able to create those associations? And in this case, no. Every time a new video hits the feed, they're like, Faceless Prodigy, what was that content again? That profile picture doesn't look familiar at all. I have no idea. Bad, very bad. Like I said, username's broad and not niche specific. The profile picture has no main subject or focal point. It's just a bunch of random stuff. Also, the profile picture has nothing that is high attention and no relevance to the type of content being created. What could this look like? Maybe the username in a properly branded account would be Newscast Now, and the profile picture could be a podium with a microphone on it, or a high attention authority figure, some sort of well-known newscaster, maybe someone like Tucker Carlson that's sitting at a podium or standing at a podium speaking. It's someone who's a high attention authority figure, or some sort of simple representation, one simple object that is tied to the news. Pretty straightforward there. And a question to ask yourself is, how likely would I be to remember this person's content if I was just shown their profile picture and username? And the answer is very unlikely, as we talked about. And the good news is, guys, I worked on some incredible ChatGPT prompts that I'd love to give to you to generate unique and easy to read and memorable usernames. And then after you decide on a username, we're going to move into the profile picture generation, which is super simple. If you guys understand this is the most important stuff to know. This is all the learning we're going to do in this resource. So if you understand brand and you understand these simple things, then you are already ahead of everyone else that's trying to make it on social media. And the reason I wanted to create this resource for you is because this is kind of like the more boring stuff, to be honest. Everyone just wants to get to creating content, but I want to set you guys up with the proper foundation so you guys can fucking crush. So that being said, let's hop into this. It's very, very simple. Okay, so I'm going to split screen here so you can see what's going on. Step one is copy and paste the username generator GPT prompt. So if you come here is the username generator GPT prompt. So you're going to hit copy right here. You're going to paste this in. Make sure you are in a new chat in ChatGPT. I'm using ChatGPT 4. I think it's totally worth $20 a month. Obviously, whatever your situation is, do what you have to do, but this is very beneficial versus GPT 3.5. It's night and day. What is our next step? Click here to open it. I already have this open. Paste it in, and then here where it says delete this text and describe your page here, see how down here we have this text that we need to remove. So I already deleted it, as you can see. And then all we're going to do is explain what we want our page to be about. So let's take the trending news thing so I can show you guys how to properly brand this page that was poorly branded, because they make current trending news. Okay, so let's do it. My social media page content will include videos about trending news stories. And it's truly this simple. And then guess what? What's next? After deleting that text and describing your page in a simple sentence, or not even a sentence, click send message. Okay, here we go. It's that simple. Wonderful. So one thing you want to do before you go take time to create your accounts, and like I said, do not create your accounts till you go through section 3, because we're on section 2 right now. So please do not create your accounts. But before we even do that and we go and create profile picture, decide on a username that you like. So let's just say that we want to do Moment Matters Media. So let's grab that. And then we need to do one thing. We need to check that the username is available. So how do we do that? Very simple. So we're going to go to Social Blade. So you can click here, and then we're going to go here. And like I said, what username are we using? We are using Moment Matters Media. So we're going to copy that and we're going to check here. Check that out. We are sorry, but the user is not found. Okay, so we're good for YouTube. But before we move forward, we want to check the other platforms as well. So I'm just logged into my Instagram here. So all I'm going to do is go here, Moment Matters Media. So it would show up right here. So as you can see, it's not here. Because it's not showing up, there's only 2 accounts that are kind of similar. This username is available. And then next up, we just need to check TikTok. So obviously I'm logged into TikTok. So go to your existing TikTok account, search it up. Let's see if it's available. And it would show up right at the top, and it doesn't. So this username is available. The reason I have you guys use Social Blade is because YouTube is horrible at propagating usernames. And I can even show you, for example. So if I just go to YouTube real quick, I'll show you guys. If I search this right now, and even if I go to channels, it's really bad. So here's like an example. It's really bad at showing up usernames and showing you which ones are available. And oftentimes with YouTube, you could search up the username and it looks like it's not here, but see how it shows all accounts? It's really just horrible to try and find if the username's available on YouTube. So the best thing you can do is just search it here and it'll tell you if the username's found. If it is found, it's going to populate the username right here in the account, and then you know you can't use that. But in this case, it's available on all the platforms we want to create accounts on. So we're good to go. Now that we have our username, what is the next step? We know they're available. We're not going to create our accounts yet because we know we're going to watch the next lesson before we do that to make sure we don't get shadow banned. But let's say that I wanted to create more usernames and I didn't like any of these, just so you know. If you want to create more usernames, you can literally just do this. Make me 25 more usernames like the above. Let's say you want to do that. Boom. There's more usernames. And then let's say, actually, I don't want to do this niche. I want to do something else. Now that you've already had this thread open, you can copy this one, which is the username generator follow-up prompt. And let's say I wanted to make it about cats and dogs. I'm just making an example here. Now it'll give you usernames based off of content around cats and dogs. And it's that simple. And the reason you use this one is because it knows that there's going to be new social media data or social media username data, which I just want to explain this real quick. So it already has context to the rest of this conversation, but then it gets told, okay, I have some new data, so generate me new usernames. And then that's why you use this one if you're changing your niche. But that's really it in terms of a username. And you can just repeat these steps. If you want to make more, you could just say, make me 25 more usernames or make me 50 more usernames like the ones above. And then if you want to change it, then just take this follow-up prompt and then you can change the actual topic and then boom, you get more usernames. But anyways, let's go to the profile picture generator. So full transparency for this tool right here, I created it for for you guys. We're not making any money off of this. I just took some time to make it for you. You do have to have a ChatGPT-4 subscription. If you don't, you might be out of luck until OSSA.AI releases our native profile picture generator, and you'll be able to generate practically anything you want using our tool. But for now, before we give this to you guys and our users, so you can just do it natively in here, I just decided to make this. So if you don't have a ChatGPT-4 subscription, you could also use any other AI tool, but I do recommend using AI. It's just so much more efficient than having to manually do it. Before we release our profile picture generator, this will be your next best option. But by the time you see this, we might already have this profile picture generator live. But if not, then just use this. Super, super simple. What am I going to do? So we're going to click on here. It's going to open up the profile picture generator. I'm going to click here, create me a profile picture of social media. Now it's going to run me through some preferences. Pretty straightforward here. What style do we want to have it in? Let's say we want it to be realistic. Do you have any preferred colors? No. Is there a specific theme or elements? Picture of news podium with a microphone on top of it. No. Let's try that. Oh, there we go. Easy. Now we just wait and it's going to generate the image. And like we talked about, we're going to rebrand this example of poor social media account branding. Like I said, what was our username? We decided that we're going to go with Moment Matters Media. What did we do? We checked through Social Blade, Instagram, and TikTok. And then here is our profile picture. Let's say we wanted something a little more exciting. Then we can just ask it, do this thing or do that thing. So for example, maybe I just want one microphone. I could say create a similar profile picture, but with one microphone on this podium and a news channel backdrop. So this is an iterative process. The first one that comes out, you might like it. It's totally subjective to you. It's what you want. But as long as we're following the above frameworks we went over, you're golden. Boom. Look at that. That's beautiful. How about that? So here is our profile picture. Like we said, here is our username. So we have both of these here. We have our username. We can save that. We can save this image. And then we can go to the next lesson, guys, which is going to be how to set up your accounts. Please go through this and make sure you do not get shadow banned. Make sure you're not categorized as a bot. That's super important. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. And make sure you guys come join the Discord if you have any questions. We have a bunch of creators in there that would love to help you. I'll see you guys in the next lesson.